Howdy, everybody, and Happy New Year. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, 2026, and the time is 5:30 p.m. We're here for the regular session of the Coppell City Council meeting. We do have a quorum present, so I'm calling the meeting to order. We will be convening into executive session in the first floor conference room. At the end of the executive session, I'll come back out and announce work session, at which time the public is invited and encouraged to join us. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. The time is 6:57 p.m. We have recessed from executive session and will be opening work session in the first floor conference room. The public is invited and welcome to join us. Thank you. P.M. We're going to move into work session. We have 3 items on the agenda tonight. The first item is a discussion regarding the agenda items themselves. I have one corollary to that. In the
You don't have a
first meeting,
forum.
yeah, we did.
Oh.
Bijou's in there.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying. There he is. Okay.
I counted.
Okay. I'm like, you're missing people, but okay.
And now, Brianna, I lost my track.
Oh,
Where was I?
sorry.
Meetings, yes. At the next meeting, I will be at the U.S. Conference of Mayors. Mayor Pro Tem will take over the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
You guys will be hearing a proposal to move our March 24th meeting to March 10th.
Yes.
March 10th is typically the meeting that we cancel. Spring break is the following week.
Yes.
And there is a fly-in to Washington D.C. with the North Texas Commission at the end of the month that some of us would like to make. So you guys will be hearing that. It's not going to interfere with spring break or anything.
I like
All right, anybody have any comments or questions about our agenda?
Nope.
I had a question about one of the agenda items on the consent agenda.
All right,
Or just,
which one?
no big.
Remember?
Yeah.
It's only 4. Approval of the minutes.
On the NEMA, I just was curious why there were 2 distinct proposals.
Thank you. You're making me
And
feel better
I
since
was
I
wondering
ate my
from,
whole
I mean, because they
dessert.
have different, like purchase order numbers.
Keep it here.
I was just curious why there were 2 separate proposals.
So, the original project is for the addition of 9 new pole lights to extend towards the trail towards Wagner Field 6. And the other proposal is to replace the metal halide fixtures for the 13 existing poles with LED lights. That way, the electricity usage and the photometrics are consistent along that trail.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to item B, which is a discussion regarding the resident satisfaction survey. Ms. Leach.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I am very pleased and excited to introduce to you Adam Kowalski, who is the president and owner and the lead for our project, to present to you this evening the results of the resident satisfaction survey that was conducted earlier this fall. When I talked to Adam a couple weeks ago in preparation for this meeting, he used the word unprecedented. from a positivity standpoint around the results. So we're very excited to present that to you. So without further ado, I'll introduce Adam up to the stage.
Thank you very much. Now, Adam, I gotta admit, you do not look like the person that would use unprecedented very often, so you've got our attention.
I'm not a reactionary person, no. All right, so at some point I'll have a presentation here and I'll click through it. What we did for this city is quite unique. In most communities, we will do a poll, a very representative poll of 300 or 400 completed surveys. It's what the typical community will do. For Coppell, we did 1,950 completed surveys. And it's not just a bunch of people responding, it is in the representative based on age and race and gender and geography within the city. So it is fully representative of your community. So clicker. Oh, great, I didn't realize I had the power there.
You have the
All right, fantastic. So, here is the methodology. We talk to people in English, Spanish, Chinese, and Hindi. Now, clearly only a few people, 1% in each of the other languages. But what that means is you have full participation from people the way they feel comfortable communicating. It doesn't mean that they don't speak English, and it doesn't mean that the English speakers don't speak something else. It just means that you get to participate in the way you feel comfortable. It was not a long survey, but we got a lot of data out of people, and you really got a chance to participate in the way you wanted to. So you can see 10% chose to talk to us on the telephone, and then you had a big group of people who talked to us online, and really all different ways you were on board: email, text, mail, all kinds of different ways people were able to get to the survey. This is where we get to that place where it's kind of off the charts. How do you rate the overall quality of life in Coppell at 98%? It doesn't have to be like this, right? I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons why you could feel like it's something else, and that's not how they feel. They're a very, very slim group of people who say something other than, pretty amazing. And before I move on, this is a truncated presentation because there's couple hundred pages of slides that we can present, and then there's hundreds of pages including open-ended responses. So really, we're presenting some of those top lines here. At any point, we can dive in deeper tonight, next time, anytime you want. We've got a lot of data behind this that your staff gets to use to talk to your community in all different ways, target them for outreach in whatever way necessary. I don't want to emphasize this because it's a very slim group of people, literally 25 people out of a couple thousand. But we do have a couple things that people say that they're not so happy about, and again, we put those numbers next to them just to make it very clear it's a very small number of people, but if you do want to make things a little bit better, if that's even possible, there's a couple things people care about, right? And you get to actually look at the words that they say in their full report on results that you'll get, so you can see what they say and maybe find some little jewels in there that you can, maybe make them a little happier with. All right. Overall services, 93% or 94% satisfied, 4% unsatisfied. Obviously, we don't want to dismiss those 4% people who say they're not so happy, but pretty slim. And unsure is okay, because I'm just not thinking about you. I don't think about City Hall. I don't think about what you're talking about. I've got to go to school. I've got to go to work. And this is not my zone of genius, but it's okay. So it's a few people feel that way, but really huge numbers here. Again, a handful of people have something to say about services, and you can look through those, but very, very small number of people. Then you may consider this homework. You might say, oh yeah, we maybe want to do something about any one of these things, but really, really small numbers. Have you interacted with someone from the city last 6 months? Most people say no, but a big group of people say yes. What does that mean? That could mean I came to the counter at City Hall and tried to process something, or it could also mean I waved to someone in a truck that had a logo on it, and that's how I feel I interacted. So really subjective to your residents. The vast majority of them said that interaction was pretty off the charts, was great. 7% said poor or very poor, and we got to keep in mind here, no disrespect to law enforcement, but some of those people got a ticket. So that was their interaction. And so kind of important to understand not every interaction is going to really possibly be always positive. And here you can see there's some other things that people did mention, right? Ineffective police presence or lack of results solutions. really a few handful of people, and that's an opinion, and of course, I'm sure you care about the opinions of your residents, but a very small portion of them having something to say that really, is germane to that person or a couple of their neighbors. All right, list of course, we give them a list of core services, and we kind of go through them here in succession. Police, off the charts, 90% say excellent or good. This is, I didn't say it yet, but we call this puppies and kittens territory, right? Really, really strong. You're not going to, if we do this again in a year or 2 or 5, whatever the interval you're looking for, we're not going to be at 99%. It just doesn't happen, right? If you want to incrementally improve, maybe you get to be at 91%, but it's really, really strong numbers. Looking at fire and EMS, again, 89%, really strong positive numbers. Almost no one says something negative. Garbage and recycling, 90%. Communication with residents, 86%. And a lot of the people who didn't say excellent, you've got a few of them say unsure because they're not looking for that data. They're not listening to that sort of thing. Water and sewer utility billing, 91%. Again, you're sending them a bill and they're saying this is, you're doing a great job. And this is, comparatively, I can show you, a ton of other cities. We do hundreds around the country. This is not the way they look. They're in the positive because people love their city more than they love their legislature and their Congress, but it's not this good in other places. 84% having something positive to say about streets and other infrastructure maintenance. 51% saying something super positive about building inspection and permitting. Why isn't that number bigger? Because I don't know. I don't really get involved in that sort of thing. And I just told you I'm unsure. And of course, you've got some people who say they're not happy because you probably didn't give them that permit, or they're waiting for something to come about. All right, which of the following quality of life factors do you want the city to prioritize? So, this might be something that policymakers look to. They want more entertainment, more retail, more opportunity to go out. And this is a good problem to have, right? They're not clamoring for something, something more dramatic. It's good, positive things. They want to improve the city's appearance. They want trails, which you've got a great trail system, but they want more. Community inclusiveness. They've got some pretty cool stuff that they say, and you get to prioritize. Now, we let them pick as many as they want because we wanted exactly what happens here. We wanted that bulking at the top, and you really see those two things at the top that stand out, which could be easily the priorities you focus on if you wanted to. We also ask, which of the following safety issues do you want the city to prioritize? And again, we get a kind of a top-heavy answer that comes to sidewalks, alley repair and maintenance, and then also traffic safety. So there's a theme there that you might be able to pick up on. Next, which of the following growth and development issues do you have most concern about, or are you most interested in? And you can see prioritizing maintaining infrastructure, which is something we saw earlier. We talked about roads and streets and sidewalks and alleys. And then also, again, up there is attracting new restaurants and retail business. So a couple times they told us this, so maybe that becomes something that's really we focus on. And then there is, again, talk about congestion there. So I think each of these things you don't get to dismiss, but you get to look at those top couple and really be able to focus on those if you want. Obviously, I moved very quickly. This is your residence, so our job was, like I said, to be representative of the people that live here. And so this is what they look like from a demographic standpoint, and we were dead on within a couple percentage points across the board, and so you can know who they are. The key here is when you're looking at some data, the cross-tabulated data, it's really important to look and understand, for instance, in some of the different ethnicities, really small numbers can really sway the cross-tabulated data really significantly, so it's important not to read too much into that, but you are a pretty diverse community otherwise. Too many slides, too quick of a presentation, because I know you had a long evening, but I'm here to answer questions, and we are on team for the duration through staff. We'll do whatever you need for 2 months, 6 months, a year. There's nothing to asking us for something.
I thought hands were going to go up around the table. Ramesh.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Probolsky, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Perfect.
Thanks for a wonderful presentation. I wish we could have, captured your enthusiasm, and when the residents see this, that they get that along with your enthusiasm. Given that we can't do that, do you happen to have a benchmark of North Texas cities that we can put up for questions 1 to 10. So when they see a 98.2 or 9 for Coppell, they can look at North Texas City and understand that Coppell is doing better or worse.
So the answer is we absolutely have comparative data, and we can take whatever cities you feel are your peers that you want to compare yourself to, or you organically do, and we can give you that comparison chart, and it's going to show some pretty positive numbers. As long as they've done, as long as we've done their survey, or they've done a public survey, we can get that data and do give you that comparison chart. So I'll work with staff to make a cool chart that makes you stand out.
Jim?
So I think I saw 2.2% margin of error.
Yes.
Is that relatively low, given the large sampling that you have?
I'll go back to 300, 400, typical of a city. We even, I don't care if it's, LA or Miami or Dallas, I mean, 300 or 400 is actually perfectly appropriate. So yes, it's a very large sample, and it's a very low margin of error for a community survey, for any kind of a community.
Thank you. Well done, too.
Did you have any unpublished opinions after you completed the survey?
I didn't hear.
Like,
So we have an open, I don't think we did an open link.
I might have asked.
We do collect probably, a handful come in, smattering, because we do look at the mail comes out there and someone's still got it on their kitchen table or something like that. But not that many. We had the survey open for a strong period of time.
I guess I meant your pollsters that were doing the questioning, did they end up with any, people are really enthusiastic about the town, that they really hated it? I think from the 98%, we have a pretty good indication, but
Yeah.
how was your experience doing the polling?
Oh, okay, so, obviously, we get other commentary from people. People do have other things to say about their hometown. The vast majority of that was captured in open-ended responses. So when you get the chance to read through that big document, we call it bedtime reading, you will see a lot of that commentary. And there'll be some negativity in there, and we always encourage not to read too much into that, because that's a handful of people. But you will see some of that enthusiasm that I'm exuding, because they're gonna say some positive things in there too. You'll see it for sure.
Okay, thank you. Bijou and then
Brianna.
Brianna.
Brianna, you host.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Bijou.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the presentation. My question
Oh,
is,
Lord.
I didn't see your questions.
Thank you.
So my question is, did you ask the residents how the city council is doing?
I don't think we went into that, and that's a valid question. Some people are uncomfortable by that because it might be seen as political. We don't think so. But no, we didn't ask about you all personally, yeah.
Brianna?
Hey, quick question, will you remind me again what the total number of respondents were? Was it close to 2,000?
Yeah, it was, and I'm gonna, just close your eyes if flashing's a problem for you.
Okay.
Um,
I guess I'm not gonna look.
whoops.
Huh?
It was,
1950?
1950.
And how does that compare to, if you can, or you can provide it later, just to other cities? Because I would think that's on the low side, but you might come back and say, that's actually pretty good. I'm
No,
curious how to.
So to give you some kind of comparison, on a statewide basis, if you were to do, this is not political, but in terms of we think about that way, a gubernatorial poll, right? Who's gonna win for governor? Statewide, you might do 700 or 1,000.
Okay.
So 1950 inside
pretty
of the city is really, really strong.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, that's what I needed to know, thank you.
Ramesh?
Thank you, Mayor. Again, Mr. Problowski, from the science of how you chose the questions, can you share for the audience how you went about choosing those particular questions and the language?
Yes, so our approach is obviously very collaborative with staff to make sure we're capturing the full sentiment of the community. And we built out a survey that was significantly larger than the one we fielded. And we honed that down to questions that were hyper relevant to Coppell. And also we were conscious of the time of your residents to make sure that we weren't overburdening them, but also giving you the data you needed. So we could have easily asked triple the number of questions, but it would have been pretty hard to get. It's our job to get it, so it would have been somewhat hard to get the responses, but more importantly, we would have kind of put a situation where, who really has the time to do that. And luckily, you have a good portion of your residents who are, and in the right proportions, willing to spend 7 minutes, 10 minutes talking to us on the phone or sitting at their kitchen table, filling it out.
Kevin?
My question is actually kind of for staff pertaining to this. So, obviously, we will, we get this information, and so what are our next action items on that? Obviously, there were some specifics that we saw about certain areas of concern or things like that. Number one, will this be part of our retreat process, and then our prioritization for our 2040? Is all of that coming together for this session?
So it won't be, so next steps around, so first step is all of this information will be available this week on the website. So as we have done with previous surveys, it will have the ability for you to go in and say, I'd like to see what women said, or I'd like to see what residents who've lived here 15 years or more said. So you'll be able to kind of parse through all of the data to see all of the results any way that you'd like to see that. So that will be up this week. As if we talk about like next steps, so we will use this information to inform the conversations that we're having. So if we just talk about the last hour we just spent, some of the data that is in here helps inform the conversation that you guys had over the last hour. And so while it will be part of, I think, some of the discussion that we have at retreat from a prioritization standpoint on the Vision 2040, if that is what you're referencing.
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
So that will likely, yes, that is all happening post your retreat, just based on the calendar that we have for the updated refresh for Vision 2040.
Excellent. Thank you very much. That was very in-depth. I appreciate it.
To
I wanted to just piggyback and just say, thank you so much for the data. It looks very well organized. Obviously, the positivity in it, I think, all make us light up and stuff. So thank you so much for your company putting in the work to reach out to everyone. I just want to say thank you for that.
Following up on Councilmember Neville's question, Kevin, I saw this more as something guiding us for short-term planning, like the next budget and maybe the next couple of years, not as much as looking at it 2040. I don't know, and maybe it's a question for the survey. When you framed the question, was the intent more to address short-term questions or long-term?
We didn't, if you saw the questions themselves, they talked about prioritization. So it's somewhat subjective. People might be thinking short-term, they may be thinking much longer-term. So really it was up to the residents. We tend to look at research tools like this in a community where you do this every year. It can be seen as short-term, indicative of a trend. Or if you only do it every 5 years, it's pretty much all you get to rely on. So it's really, up to you all. But definitely, this is what your residents are thinking today, for sure.
Bijou? Yeah, one more question for Tracy. We did this survey last year. We also did a survey for 2040. Are we using the same modification of 2040, or what we need to do for the last, modification survey?
I'm sorry, could you repeat your question? I'm not sure I followed all of that.
The updates, 2040 update survey,
Yes.
we did last year. So we did,
Over the summer, we had the survey for
right.
that, yes.
How many surveys have we done last year?
Oh, gosh. Well, we did the 2040. We've done this survey. Did we do a community experiences? The master plan survey. So I want to say we did 3 official surveys in the last year.
Okay. My follow-up question is, are we using the same number of people for this survey?
The same,
Group of people that we are used for 3 surveys?
I do not know the answer on who has responded to each survey. Now, I will say, so we are using some of the same lists. So for example, the HOAs or our volunteer lists or people who have signed up for e-news. So we are utilizing some of the same lists. However, for each of those efforts that I've shared with you on the different surveys, those were all really distinct and different efforts. And we were looking at different audiences to help inform. So for example, on community experiences, that was a much different and a much more focused survey effort and engagement with the community. So they were looking specifically for folks, who were users of all of those facilities and that sort of thing. So the type of survey informed what groups of folks we were trying to engage to provide feedback to us.
So my follow-up question is, are we doing too many surveys in a year, or are we doing, where do we stand on that?
Well, so based on the responses that we got, so we got 1,950 survey responses for this survey. We got almost 1,000 for the 2040 survey. And then I do not know off the top of my head how many we got for, it was around this. And it's about this same amount for the community experiences survey. So my gut reaction would say no, that this community appreciates the opportunity to provide feedback and definitely engages in those opportunities when they're asked. I think if we start seeing, the typical 400, for us, we might be concerned knowing that for other communities, that would be a perfectly acceptable, statistically valid number. But our community is much more engaged, and we have seen, even for our most narrow and targeted surveys, upwards of 600 or 700 respondents.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've given me some good speaking points for State of the City, so thank you very much.
Yeah, about right.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Well, it's gonna go, bad news is, folks, there's not much room at the top. All right, we've got one item left, and it is now 7:24. I'm gonna ask Danny, how long is your little discussion gonna be?
I can do it in 2 minutes.
Give you 3. We'll give you 3, yeah.
How fast can you cross the road on this thing?
And if you want to hear more, it'll go on.
I tell you what, let's defer that till after the meeting, because we're coming up on 7:30 real quickly here, and I don't think we can get it done in 6 minutes, so. Time is
think so.
7:25 PM. We're recessed from work session, and we'll move into regular session at 7:30.
In recent years, and it's under the Fair
Right to Farm Act.
Right to Farm Act. I'll get it wrong. And which added to the agriculture code, and the important part of this, it was an unintended consequence of how they passed this and how it's going to relate to us. And so the state has defined an agricultural operation as raising, keeping livestock or poultry. So if we were to allow chickens, those would be agricultural operations. Currently, we don't have any because we don't allow. And then no nuisance actions can come across them, against them, if they've been in operation for 1 year or more. Okay, so those are important definitions. And then they specifically said in the legislation that the city may not impose a governmental requirement that applies to agricultural operations located in the city limits. There are some unlesses, but they're like radiation, explosions, gunshots. They have very little to do with what a chicken may do. Here on that. And then, of course, we added the governmental requirement, which they're saying that we cannot impose, which includes any rules, regulations, ordinances, zoning, license, permit requirements, any type of action against the agriculture operation if it's been there for 12 months. And I'll pause there for discussion.
Brianna?
Chief, thank you for that overview. Quick question, so does that mean that if we were to create an ordinance to allow for chickens, it would fall under the agriculture exception or operations, yes, and then we wouldn't be able to regulate it?
After 1 year, correct.
Okay, want to make sure I understood that, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. My question is related, Chief, thanks for the presentation. In the previous slide, you talk about 1 year of operation. So in this slide, when you refer to agricultural operation, does it assume that it's been in existence for a year?
Yes.
We don't have any such in Coppell today.
No.
So this only applies to existing agricultural operations.
Yeah, the spirit of the law was for existing farms that were out there and cities were encroaching on them. But this will apply to us if we were to change our ordinance.
So we have a clean book now, but if we adopt an ordinance today, then 1 year later it becomes set.
That's the way
Okay.
I understand it. Bob?
Yes, sir.
You know, I don't want to get in a long legal discussion.
Oh, please.
The ag code, originally, there is a Attorney General's opinion that basically says that a city's preclusion of agricultural operations in their city is not overridden by the statute and preempted. And our friends down in Austin in 2023 passed, remember the Death Star ordinance? And it specifically says that agricultural operation regulations are preempted by the state. And what the chief's really telling you is if we open the door, we may lose the ability to regulate it and let those hillbillies down in Austin do it. My words, not yours. So that's why I'm at the end, this is why I'm at the end of my legal career. So we would lose, and my fear is, when I visited with Danny about this on a couple of occasions, my fear is that this is an unintended consequence, but they won't fix it. And to allow us not to regulate. Now, the no nuisance action, in that old Attorney General's opinion, that was for a neighbor not to enforce a nuisance action against their neighbor that had a farm operation if it was over a year old. Now, what that opinion also says is the city doesn't lose its ability to regulate under the old statute. Now we've got this preemption language. My fear is that if we open the door, that preemption statute will lose control of the ability to regulate it at all if we open the door. And so I think they'll honor the no livestock in the city, the no farm operation in the city. But once you allow operation in the city, that statute says that we're preempted from regulating. And so now that allows the legislature to establish rules or to authorize, I think there's some stuff with Ag Life and where they've delegated that responsibility from the legislature to Texas A&M to say how many chickens you can have and all these regulations that they've told Texas A&M to develop for all livestock, and chickens are one of them. So that to me tells me that they intend to take away that ability once we open the door.
Thanks, Mayor. So are the current chickens in town grandfathered in?
They're not supposed to be
What
there.
chickens?
Well, I think there's a few, outside of chicken egg.
There's probably all kind of vermin around.
So,
Yeah, that was my
okay, so
question
but
too.
there's no grandfather
No,
if they're here, okay. And then,
because we have an ordinance on the books that says you're not supposed to have them. Now, are we out, you know, knocking on doors? I don't have the
Right.
iced chicken. I
Oh
know,
my gosh, I cannot.
so with respect to, so anything that would remark on the number of chickens, setback allowances for coops, that would constitute a regulation.
yes, sir. And
Okay.
that's my fear, and then, because A&M does, and they authorized A&M to do all this stuff when they passed this legislation recently, and told A&M to develop regulations for what they call urban farming.
So what does that mean for all the other cities around us that have ordinances that allow a certain number of chickens and that sort of thing?
They were grandfathered for the preemption. A lot of them
Okay.
have been. They've been on the books for years. I mean, no chickens or a limited number of chickens. And it's because September 2023, September 1st is kind of the seminal date, and a lot of those ordinances predate that.
So they wouldn't be able to change theirs either.
Right.
Okay, and so we're waiting around for Austin to tell us how to live our lives at the smallest detail.
Yes.
At least they're consistent. Okay, thank you, Chief.
That's called the
Yeah.
Austin Gap, just, okay.
So, and I've had a couple other cities with the same information. They said, you know what, we're done. We're just gonna leave the ordinance of no livestock operations in the city.
All right, Kevin?
My specific question would be about roosters, because that says poultry, so obviously that would be inclusive. So if we just wanted to have chickens, would this open the door then to be able to have roosters?
Yeah.
That's all I need to know, thank you.
So, what do you need from us?
Well, this was a proposal, or it was a request to bring it before the council.
Yep.
Is there, what I need is a majority of either to take it forward or not.
When you say take it forward, what do you mean, Mayor?
To bring an ordinance
Regulate it.
before you to allow poultry in the city.
Allow and regulate.
Well, we can't regulate anymore, we can just allow. The state will regulate.
So it would require that we say, okay, we would take poultry off the list of prohibited animals, right, would be effectively what we would do. So we would amend the current ordinance to remove poultry as a regulated animal or prohibited animal, but we wouldn't be able to do anything else.
Well, here, we could, I wouldn't recommend we do that, but ultimately, we may lose those cases and go to municipal court if they violate the ordinance, or run the risk of getting sued that would violate the preemption.
Sued by the AG.
Now, probably by a property owner that wanted more chickens than they wanted to allow.
Gotcha.
I don't know who's got that kind of money laying around, but, you know, maybe the poultry people would sponsor something to get the regulations going. You know, that'd be more apt than anything else for
Okay,
someone.
we're out of time.
So, is there anybody here that has a desire to take this and have Bob draft an ordinance? I see a
No.
no down there. See a no there.
No?
No? You're up? No? We've got a majority of no, so
You had one wing up.
we'll let you have the.
And I love to eat chickens.
Thank you very much. The time is 7:36. We have recess for work session and we'll start city council at 7:40. Session, and we'll be starting city council meeting in about 5 minutes. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. The time is 7:42 p.m. We're here for the regular session of the Coppell City Council. Any persons wishing to speak during our public hearings or citizens' appearance must sign the appropriate register located outside the council chambers. We're going to go ahead and get started this evening, and sorry for starting a little bit late, but it was a very animated discussion. This evening, for our invocation, we have Reverend Abraham Sampson, pastor of the Martoma Church of Dallas, and I believe Councilmember Bijou Matthew is a member there, here to give our invocation. And after that, please remain standing for our Pledge of Allegiance. Reverend Sampson.
Great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised. Gracious and almighty God, maker of heaven and earth, we thank you for your manifold blessings that you have showered upon us in our life. We thank you for adding one more day in our life and for the wonderful opportunities that you have given us to serve you and glorify you. We thank you for our country, the United States of America, its blessings and solidarity. We also thank you for the city of Coppell and its abundance. We come before you today and begin the council meeting. We pray for the mayor, the pro-tem mayor, the council members, the city staff, and all who take part in the work of this meeting. We pray that you guide their thoughts, words, and decision. All efforts reflect truth, justice, and compassion. May every action bring integrity, fairness, and well-being for the common good of all, especially the last, the least, and the lost. We thank you for your sovereign care over our city and community. We pray for our neighborhoods, our schools, our businessmen, families, and all those who work for the safety and well-being of this community. We pray that all our efforts and collective work enhance peace and unity. We pray for those in pain and suffering. Bestow your compassion and protection to all. Help us to reflect your radiance and build up a harmonious society. Everything we ask in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Item number 6 on our agenda is a recognition of our outgoing boards and commission members. Lauren, did you have anything to add to that? Okay, no. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come down front and I'm going to call each member that's here down front and present you with a certificate, and then please remain in the front so that we get a group photo at the end. So bear with me. And when we get finished with this, if there's anybody that I do not call, please let me know and come on down. We're not wanting to exclude anybody. All right, first person that is retiring from the Animal Services Advisory and Appeals Board is Janet Watson. Janet? Thank you very much for your service. All right, retiring from our Board of Adjustments is Michelle Anderson. Now, Michelle, I'm going to be honest here. I opened Janet's certificate earlier, and it took me 5 minutes, so I didn't open yours, so good luck on that one. Congratulations, or thank you for your service.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
All right, retiring from the Ethics Review Panel is Ricky Berard. your service. Thank you, sir. And retiring from the future-oriented approach to residential development, I think it's one of our original members, Peggy Quinn. Is that founding member?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you for everything you've done for us.
Thank you.
And then retiring from the library board is Maya Krishna. Thank you so much for helping out our library. Next, also from the library board is Anaya Gogola. Thank you so much. All right, now serving on the Parks and Recreation Board, Maureen Corcoran. Maureen, how many years was this? 12. I knew it was more than a few.
I understand I get a pension and benefits.
Yeah, yours is exactly equal to what mine's going to be. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Also from Parks and Rec is Hazel Newton. Thank you very much. And then also from Parks and Rec, Margaret Bryan. And the last person from Parks and Rec is Avery Fishman. Thank you. And also retiring from our Smart City Board is Raina Domley. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is anybody else here that is retiring that we did not have the name of? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time on our boards and commissions. We say this with heartfelt thanks. We couldn't do our jobs without you, and you make the city what it is. You know, we take our guidance from you, and it's a tremendous burden that you bear, and we really do appreciate it. Council, does anybody have anything they would like to say? Councilmember Hinojosa Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to echo my thanks as well. One of the things that I love and appreciate about COPHEL is that we never have a shortage of volunteers. And we always have people that want to be involved and are willing to truly just give of their time, their commitment, their passion. And it comes with no monetary incentive other than return, but you contribute so much to everything that we do, and we truly could not do what we do without all our volunteers and the great ideas that come from the many people and diverse backgrounds that come and that sit on our boards and commissions. So I know that everybody retires for different reasons, but I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for caring about our community. Thank you for giving back. And if you ever want to come back and serve, we'd love to have you.
Councilmember Nevels.
Thank you, Mayor. I echo everything that Councilmember Hinojosa Smith just said. Thank you guys so much for everything that you've done for our community. And one thing I wanted to point out was I had spoken to several of you guys down here, and I heard a thread about, you know, people wanting to, they feel like they've given their time and they felt like they wanted to retire to step aside to let that next group and that next generation come through and serve. And again, I think that lends itself to the selflessness that is required to serve on a board or commission, that you know when it's your time to serve and you have that calling, but then also selfless enough to know when you want to bring that next group in. And that's how our community continues to grow and thrive, is that we have continuous waves of people wanting to answer the call, step up, and serve. So I want to thank you so much Thank you for answering the call when you did. The city of Coppell is better because you are part of it. So thank you so much. We appreciate all of you.
Councilmember Matthew?
Thank you, Mayor. The city of Coppell runs on volunteers, and we all are volunteers sitting here as well. I started my volunteerism in Park Board. I served there and CRDC Board. Then I graduated to this level here. So I appreciate all of you serving on the boards and giving back to the community. We appreciate your service. I also like to echo what Councilmember Neville said. I spoke to many of you, and many of you said, we want to give an opportunity to new folks. We don't have a term limits here as an elected officials here or the board members, but you voluntarily said, I am going to give an opportunity to new people who want to serve on the board. That's very important. That's significant that you are volunteering yourself to getting out of for new generation to come in. I do appreciate all of your service to the city of Coppell. Thank you.
Councilmember Prem Kumar.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to concur and agree with all of the council members that spoke before me. Thank you all for your service. Every year we have way more applicants than positions available. So you were the best in the years that you had applied. And it's sad that all of this talent is leaving, but I don't think it's really leaving. Like Peggy and Maureen had mentored me when I first got on the boards and commission. I remember interviewing Reina for the Smart City Board. We served together. So thank you for the service. I'm especially excited about the youth volunteers. I think you guys are leaders. You're going to achieve a lot of things, and I look forward to the tremendous future you're going to have. Thank you.
All right. Again, thank you very much for all the time that you put in, and thank you for all the service that you provided. I think Sam is here to give a photo. So we're going to do a little prettying up of the stage.
Come on in.
We'll make it work.
You can tickle that.
Can you stand up? Get in close.
Yep. Perfect. You guys are okay. You're perfectly fine sitting down. Yes. All right, everybody ready? Big smiles for the families, everybody in the audience, fantastic. And a couple more just for the fans. This one's for your brothers and your sisters. Okay, thank you everybody, that was great.
All right, item number 7 is our citizens' appearance, and persons wishing to speak must sign the register and list your address. Presentations by individuals shall be limited to 3 minutes each, and during which time the speakers must remain at the podium, face forward, and only address the mayor and members of the city council. Persons signed up to speak will be called in the order that they signed up. In order to maintain an orderly and respectful meeting environment, to conduct the meeting in public and business, speakers will adhere to the standards outlined in Ordinance 2025-1633. There will be no comments or deliberations from the City Council due to the Texas Open Meetings Record Act. We do have 2 people that have signed up to speak tonight, and the first one is Clayton York.
Okay. I am a proud transgender, mentally retarded, Hispanic, African-American woman of color, and I'm late for my abortion thanks to Orange Hitler, that bigoted piece of shit. Look, what are we going to do about ICE in our communities? I stand with Renee Good. That's my wife's boyfriend right there. How is he going to bang my wife if he's scared of getting deported? He's scared every day. He's shivering. And how is he going to bang my wife if he's scared of getting deported? I'm late for my abortion. I got to go.
Next on the list is Mercedes Hall. Name and address for the record.
Mercedes Hall, 483 Grace Lane, Capel.
City Council members and residents of Capel. My name is Mercedes Hall, and I served as charter president of the Kiwanis Club of Capel. Please excuse the text-to-speech voice. I have laryngitis, but this news is too important to wait. I'm here to share good news for Capel and to extend an invitation. On November 19th, 2025, we officially chartered the Key Club of Capel High School. Key Club is the largest high school service organization in the world. And now, Capel has one. These students are ready to lead, ready to serve, and ready to make a difference in our community. We're hosting the Key Club of Capel High School Charter Celebration and Installation Ceremony to honor them. It's happening on Tuesday, January 27th at 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the Capel High School Library, 185 West Parkway Boulevard. We invite residents, parents, students, educators, and community partners to attend and support these students. Mayor and council members, we recognize you have a council meeting that evening at 5:30. We would be honored if you could stop by briefly at 4:30, even for a few minutes, to welcome our student leaders. This event is also a chance for parents, students, educators, and community members to see what Kiwanis and Key Club are all about. And if you're looking for a way to give back, we're always looking for new members to help mentor these incredible students. The timing is also special, as January 21 to 26 is Kiwanis International Week. We would be grateful if the city would consider recognizing the week and celebrating our new Key Club. It would mean the world to these students. So here's my ask. Join us Tuesday, January 27th at 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. at the Capel High School Library. Come celebrate the next generation of service and leadership in our city. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, item number 8 is our consent agenda. The consent agenda is routine in nature and is generally enacted in a single action. These items have been previously approved through the budget or past council actions. Any item may be pulled and considered separately. Full descriptions are available on the screen. Council, do you have any items that you would like to have considered separately or have any questions? Seeing none, I will accept a motion. Councilmember Walker.
Thank you, Mayor Mays. I move that we approve the consent agenda items 8A through D.
Thank you very much. And I have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Carroll. All in favor?
Walker, Hinojosa Smith, Carroll, Nevels, Prem Kumar, Matthew, Hill. None opposed, motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item number 9 is a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing and consider approval of PD 160R2 MF-2 Mansions by the Lake, Lot 1, Block 1, Lakeside Apartments, a zoning amendment to allow conversion of 1,254 square feet of the second floor of the clubhouse building to a residential unit on 34.75 acres of property located along the east side of Capel Road, approximately 967 feet north of Parkway Boulevard. Mr. Steer.
Mayor, council, good evening. This property has a multifamily development on it with a clubhouse shown in red. The original plan development was approved by City Council in July 1997. An amendment to allow a daycare facility in the clubhouse was approved in April 1998, and the daycare is no longer in existence. This is a request to convert 1,132 square feet of the second floor of the clubhouse building into a residential apartment. There are other modifications to the clubhouse layout and amenities that are being done that do not require zoning action. The remainder of the multifamily units are not being modified. The total unit count allowed will be changed from 315 to 316 units. Parking is unchanged, and they're still exceeding the parking requirements by providing 893 parking spaces. Here's the existing second floor plan. Within the portion of the second floor shown in red, the applicant's proposing to convert an event room, 2 small restrooms into a one-bedroom apartment unit. And the apartment unit construction will incorporate fire separation modifications between the apartment unit and the other clubhouse spaces as required by building code. Entrance to the unit will be directly from the exterior via an existing balcony and staircase, or via an interior staircase leading directly to the unit without need to pass through the other clubhouse spaces. The apartment will consist of a large living, dining room, a kitchen, foyer, 1 bedroom, a bathroom, and a closet. No enlargement of the existing building area is part of this proposed scope. Exterior changes to the building are limited to the removal of the rooftop decorative balustrade, removal of the capitals from the columns, and the addition of a new cosmetic wood wrap over an existing exterior columns at the front entry. We sent out 46 notices within 200 feet, 209 courtesy notices within 800 feet. We received no written response either in favor or opposition, and we received several phone calls just asking about what the zoning change sign was all about. The Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the request with the following condition, that there may be additional comments during the building permit review. That concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and the applicant's architect is in the audience as well.
Thank you very much. Council, do you have any questions for Mr. Steer? I've got one. There are other 2-story apartment buildings or 2nd-story resident units in this apartment complex. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you. Does the applicant have any comments? Don't have to make any? No?
We flew in just to hear the approval.
Ooh. Okay, council, we had nobody signed up to speak in the public hearing, so therefore it's up to the council to make any motions or proposals. Councilmember Neville.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to close the public hearing and approve Agenda Item 9 with conditions listed.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second? Seconded by Councilmember Prem Kumar. All in favor?
Walker, Hinojosa Smith, Carroll, Nevels, Prem Kumar, Matthew, Hill. None opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. I hope your trip was worth it. All right, item number 10 is the city manager's report with project updates, future agendas, and direction from work session. Mr. Land.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to start off this evening first to, the council's been informed, the organization's been informed. There'll be a public announcement coming out soon, but Fire Chief Kevin Richardson has submitted his retirement date, being February, the end of February, February 27th. On February 24th at 10:30 a.m., there will be a reception and ceremony for Fire Chief Richardson, but there will be more information forthcoming. All right, getting to the various projects. By the way, we will also be recognizing Chief Richardson during the February 10th council meeting. Coppell Emergency Water Interconnects, huge project, extremely important to the community. It is complete. Magnolia Park, the trail through Magnolia Park, that project is complete. The Woodridge Channel, the contractor is continuing to install gabion in front of St. Joseph's. The dog park, if you've gone by, the contractor has completed all concrete flat work and continuing to install sod. They will begin the synthetic turf areas and the shade structures within the next several weeks. The Dart Silver Line project, the contractor continues to work on pavement repairs. The service center, if you haven't been by, the staff has moved into the new section of the service center, and the work is being done on the interior of the old facility. There is going to be an open house planned for January 26th from 2 to 3 p.m. The invitations will be coming out soon. The Justice Center building interior continues to do the demolition and work. Utilities are complete. Bullock and Howell, the contractor has mobilized and has begun working in the right-of-way, preparing and trimming trees. Storm drain work will begin soon. Hunterwood Park Bank Stabilization, a pre-construction meeting was held, and the contractor will begin work at the end of this month. Royal Lane reconstruction, a pre-construction meeting is scheduled for this week. The contractor will be mobilizing by the end of this month. And last, Mayor, there will be information coming out very soon about a new utility billing payment portal. We're launching a new portal that affords us more, not us, affords customers more access and different ways that they can make payments on their utility billing. The upgrade supports our 2040 plan for focus on accessibility, service excellence, and modernization. And the new payment methods will include e-check, auto pay using debit or credit card, and text-to-pay option. We will walk anyone who has a question about what to do and how to do it through that process. And there will be some information, like I said, coming out in January. The date has not been set when this all becomes operational, as they're continuing to do some work on it. But the notice will be going out, so we will be getting questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Item number 11 are mayor and council reports on recent upcoming events. First of all, hope everyone had a very happy new year and a happy holidays. I can tell you from the discussions going on in work session, the council was happy to be back together. It's been 6 weeks before we've been together, and the friendly exchange of dialogue was unbelievable. So I'm wishing each and everyone a happy new year. Last Thursday, we had a very special event at the Coppell Arts Center. We had our Employee Tenure Awards Day, and I'm not going to go through everybody that was presented, but we had over 400 years of service to the city that were recognized. Along with me, we also had Mayor Pro Tem Carroll, Councilmember Hinojosa Smith, Councilmember Nevels, Councilmember Prem Kumar, and Councilmember Matthews celebrating our employees. There were there were 7 or 8 notable folks that had extensive history with the city. We had 2 employees that celebrated 35 years with the city of Coppell. The first was Mark Daniels with our fire department, and the second was Brian White, 35 years. Then at 25 years, we had Heather Dingfield, Brian Stacy, Michael McDowell, Stuart Burris, Kim Tien, Kenneth Cochran, and Jason Tyler. Just those 8 people represented 245 years of service to the city. So it was a very special, memorable day, and it's just a great day to be there. Please join me on February 10th as I provide our annual State of the City, which will be held at the Coppell Arts Center. It's going to be held in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce Monthly Luncheon, and we will be talking about what the city has done this year and a little bit about where we're going forward in the future. Also, please join the City Council as we plan for that future at the Coppell Retreat on February 6th and 7th. This is open to the public, and we will spend about a day and a half talking about where we expect to be in 2027. Mayor Pro Tem Don Carroll will run the January 27th meeting for me, as I will be out on travel. I will be at the National Conference of Mayors during the last week of January. And Mayor Pro Tem, thank you for taking that on. And yes, he is qualified, and so far, as the day goes on, his week gets busier and busier, so.
I look forward to it.
Good. All right, item number 12 are council committee reports concerning items of community involvement with no council action or deliberation. Council, do you have anything to report? Seeing none. Yeah. Oh, I was going to do public service announcements. Well, we will have formal reports at the January 27th meeting, and then Councilmember Nevels would like to report on our public service announcements concerning items of community interest with no council action or deliberation permitted. Councilmember Nevels.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to report to the community about the Coppell Chamber of Commerce Annual Community Awards and Gala. That's going to be Thursday, January 29th at 6 p.m. And that's going to be at 4 Points by Sheridan here in Coppell. So just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. Would love to see a lot of people in attendance. Excited to see who wins the business awards that'll be issued out this year. So very excited. It's always a fun night, and I believe it's disco themed, if I'm not mistaken. So
You're going to be in your prime there.
oh, I'm gonna look great, sir.
Any other public service announcements? Seeing none, item number 14, there was no necessary action from the executives session, so therefore, there being no further business before this body, we're adjourned at 8:13 p.m. Thank you very much, everybody.